So we didn't found that evidence. So I had to make that face because it was in the thumbnail. But guess what, y'all? Guess what? I got a bunch of slides we're finna look into to literally expose it. And guess what else? The idiots on the news are just coming out and saying this and pretending like we're conspiracy theories.
Mysterious fog that sparked wild conspiracy theories when it allegedly made people sick back in December has now returned to the U.S. and the internet can't get enough.
So as you see, it says the fog of war. That's literally on Fox News. So anybody saying that Trump don't know what's going on, it's on Fox News. I'm pretty sure the dude watch Fox News. And all I'm saying here is that he got to be in with the plan as well. But let's look deeper into these slides and stuff like that, because again, like, so in central England, this was somebody found, and we got to bring this up because this is important. These particles just blowing around, but not so densely as in the video. I went out and placed a microscope slide on my car roof, and in the morning it rained. And then he said this, I placed a cover glass on a slide. And I mean, this is from the fog, y'all. 50x magnification. This is the best one we got so far. I would be interested to hear comments from others as to what these cruciform structures are. Grok says fungal spores, but they look like nothing I can find online. So any ideas, he says, and I got ideas. Because I've been studying all this stuff and people saying smart dust already, but you ain't really thinking correctly. It's a little bit deeper than that here. So if you look on screen right here, structural DNA nanotechnology, science direct, you can look at that. And then when I take you to this slide right now, we're going to look at this side by side. All right, check this out right here. This is from science. Look at those things right there. And you see that cross? These are like DNA nanostructures. Does it not look like that? You're looking on screen, and here's some other self-assembling ones. And they all form that same structure. A four-arm junction cube assembling is basically a self-assembling nanotechnology structure. Doesn't it look like that? I want to see in the comments if it does to you, if it doesn't to you. But they think we're dumb, though. They think that they can get up there and try to ban geoengineering and then pretend like they don't know this is happening. But we got to talk about this deeper before we go into the geoengineering thing. And they did start banning that in some areas. So check this out, though. These structures, what do they do? These DNA nanostructures. DNA nanostructures, it takes advantage of DNA's physical and chemical properties rather than genetic information. So we're talking, they're trying to morph the public. They're trying to morph us into something else right now. And you're saying like, oh, well, that's been something that's been happening for a while, right? But, you know, when we talk about this, it's a little bit deeper than something that's just been happening for a while, because this is a biological introduction, and it started to happen a lot more towards 2025. Check this out. DNA nanotechnology is a field that uses DNA to create nanostructures, devices that could be used in human machines, and they could deliver drugs. So listen to that right there. They could deliver drugs. So what would be the purpose for them to try to like deliver drugs to us? That's another question you want to ask. And I know you're sick of it. I know you're tired of it. I know you're tired of hearing the same nonsense, but this is not nonsense, because we have government officials sitting up here and then they're on news playing games, running their mouths like they're not being affected. How stupid can you be? Like, you're like, and we got more information to go into, people seeing metals and stuff like that. We got more slides we're going to look at. Sue them. Swiss scientists filing criminal complaint against authorities for ignoring acute danger of poisonous nanotechnology deployed via chemtrails. Now, why we ain't seeing that in the United States government right now? Why we ain't seeing nobody do that? Because we're fully corrupt. We're fully in with the plan. This was February 4th. This was put out. And you see the strings he got on there. Somebody says Trump could stop gang stalking. Obviously, he doesn't give a dang. I mean, we've been sitting here deploying the evidence, and let's go into more evidence right now as we're live, man, because this makes no sense. So there's more people who looked into some slides too. Check this out on screen. Mishi said, I took samples of the fog, and this was back last month, 1.7, and then she waited till 1.11 about a couple days later, and she says, look what's under the microscope. Our animals. This is what they're dealing with. So when we look a little closer here, y'all, check it out. we're seeing these little white looking little dots look like mold or something. And people have been seeing this moldy looking stuff as well. And this is really becoming a scenario where you look around and then in some of the cars and stuff, it was in UK where they were seeing like little type of mold looking stuff. It's disgusting. So when you're seeing that face in the thumbnail, yeah, because it's disgusting. This is totally sick. And look at these structures on screen right here. Like we said, okay, so you got the Y-shaped DNA tile. You got the DX DNA tile. You got the cross DNA tile. How dare they use the cross? Anyway, star-shaped DNA tile. Tetrahedron, dodecahedron. And so it starts to form all these shapes because it's then going around. It's then going around to self-assimilate. And what they do is they continue to replicate. They self-replicate and it becomes more and more and more. But you think that's going to stop them? You think they're going to defeat God's children? You think that that's what's going to cause the world to go into mayhem? No, that's not what's going to cause us to go into mayhem. It's mainly the idiots who walk outside and just say, no, it's all just a conspiracy. None of this is real. And you got to be a freaking idiot to sit here and believe all this. So it's those idiots who are going to be the problem when everything starts to happen. But I want to show you some smart people. They're starting to go out. Look at this right here. Port Isabel, Texas. Here's a lady. She goes out. She's in the fog. What do you notice that's different, though? She's covered her face up. She's not completely a brainless, poison sipping, parasite of the world. Because the thing is they're pushing this ideology upon us to accept, to be afraid, to cry. Oh my God, like it's all over. So again, it's not all over. We got too much power internally. It's more things I'm going to show you right now. But everything we're showing, and then the nanotech, we're going to give a solution after this because there's a video that's come out telling us exactly how to destroy this stuff. Because if you can have dark, you can have light. You can have day, you can have night. Let's roll this one again because, again, like we said, this replication and stuff, these DNA robots, because again, that's what they want to do. So remember, get your pine needles for sure, and don't just dry it out all the time. Because you dry it out, you take the oils out of it, which the oils is one of the most important part. Here's other things people have been seeing: metal in the snow. So you're checking this out. You're looking on screen right now, and you're seeing him with a magnet, and he's picking up metal. People have done this in a while, a lot of times, but they waited till after the snow, and like. This video like is evidence like, okay, like if we was in any government, what you call it, I don't know, showcase conspiracy, or you going to run down to the chambers and tell them to investigate, I feel like this would be like some stuff you would need to show them. And we're pulling up all this. So what do you think is coming out of people's bodies? So how do we introduce the civilization to the next new way instead of us accepting? Let's look at this slide right here. Instead of us accepting to become biological robotic beings. You got me messed up. I ain't finna be none of that. Again, all the stuff they can try to do, all the research we can do, makes us become that much more powerful. You believing that God has you makes you that much more powerful, but you implementing what God has for you makes you 10 times more powerful than a person who sits there and says, oh, I'm just going to believe God and everything's going to be all right. And then they do nothing about it. They don't put any faith in it, put any works behind it. So essentially, the energy is dead within them. So again, that's what we don't need to be right now. I'm going to move us forward. Here's somebody else. Here's more evidence. Oh my God, this is what was wrong with my animals. Water looks like some type of oil in it. This was after the fog had dropped and they had looked inside of what looks to be some type of outside sink or what they wash the animals in. So again, like we said, this is going to be a evidence-based video where people actually are going on the ground, doing their own investigations. And this is how we, as a community, build. Me and you here, all of us have been sharing out all the information as possible. So check it out. In another country, they started turning on like some different color. Let's just let you look at it. They turned on purple lights, which we know what purple lights is for. You can see the VAX in people. So this is another country across the world, in the Middle Eastern territories. But the fact that they lit up the whole area with purple, we were seeing purple lights everywhere all across America, and we already knew what that was specifically before. So why would they need to do something like that in this other country? So what I'm saying is this is not a trend yet. I just noticed it to be like, okay, I see you guys projected purple lights everywhere. So are you going to start in that territory first and then try to do something in different territories? And so let's look at the other side of all this. And so the government is complicit. I hope you understand this stuff. I hope you tune in right now and listen to me. Don't you believe the government is complicit, or you're still one of those people like, oh no, it's like they just haven't saw it yet. It's like they just haven't seen, and they just can't see it. It's not their fault. I think Trump loves us. I mean, the dude is not doing a dang thing about it right now. It's in his home state. So you're telling me, home state, and then look, they just did this. They just did this right here. They went in and they're banning chemtrails, geoengineering, but you just can't see that there's biological attacks happening. You just can't see that that's happening to us, huh? So when this goes down, don't think that we're gonna be like all like, oh yeah, all huggy, like no. It's when it goes down, you're a criminal if you're complicit with this in each state. And if you just sit back and you don't do anything, then we know you're on the DARPA payroll. We know you're on the biological payroll. So I don't think this is going to be something that. So let's play this other clip right here of them saying, "Oh, we're getting rid of geoengineering, which is a great thing. Yay!" And next thing you know, everybody like celebrating and they're like, "Oh my gosh, we're gonna live in a golden age right now." Let's go ahead and play this right here.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the Environmental Protection Committee. The people of District 87 are pleased to present for your consideration House File 191, a bill to prohibit geoengineering. At this time, I do wish to bring the committee's attention to Senate File 142, which is a superior legislative document I would also implore the committee to consider. This legislation was inspired in part by the state of Tennessee and their recent law, as well as dozens of other U.S. states considering their own geoengineering regulations. This is in addition to discussions happening in the European Union and as well as congressionally mandated policy documents produced by the Joe Biden White House.
All right, so that was them in their little assembly where I don't want to play like too long because I just have to talk about other stuff. And so people see all this stuff and then they say, yeah, this is it. This is, we're saved. Like they start screaming like some cartoon character from Looney Tunes because they see that happening in General Assembly. And it's like, okay, they're doing that, but we got poison for like what, 25 years plus. That's cool. But we need to focus on what's happening right now because we can't wait 25 plus years to get to this fog scenario. This by that time you'll be a biological robot unless the information next I'll show you implement, obviously. So we have to figure out how to implement this next is what I'm telling you. The fog of war, Donald Trump, the whole thing they said just this February, like we said, was symbolism into this. And so if he gets lost into the fog of war, this only makes him look even worse because, oh, he's the one who was supposed to come out and do something about it. He got rid of the IRS workers. He pulled us out of the WHO. He did this, he did that, and then he started going crazy and ballistic, and then he started signing AI executive order. So maybe this is a part of AI executive order or the infrastructure, the nanotechnology, the building the machines and everything else. Because remember, by 2030, that's the concerted effort, that's the concerted plan. So evidence. Let's look at this right here where other people were showing other thing. I had to slice out what they said because I would have got removed if I kept it up there. But I'll tell you what that is. It's blued out. Here's the end product that the fog particles in bacterium release overpopulation interacts with prior infected. And when it says C, you know what it means by C, something that happened in 2020, cells and nanoparticles to build up this kind of smart parasite structures within humans. Just look up at your skin and your nails. It's all in humans. So, and they show how it happens. They show the receivers and everything else. And we know about the frequencies and everything else. You can counteract that though too. The military done many studies where they counteract frequencies, just like it's bad frequencies, good ones too. Just like you can listen to a gospel song or something that's really positive for you. And then you can listen to a hip hop song that's telling you murder, death, and all this crazy, stupid stuff, which is exactly why a lot of people should stop listening to most of those songs anyway. But it's in what we listen to as well. But how can we move forward from this, and how can this not be the issue that causes people to go into panic? So this is what I was looking at, and a lot of you didn't see it because the video was too long. But right now, you're about to see the key to destroying the nanotechnology that's been studied. It's on the slide in the microscope. And if we have any ability as a community to not be domiciled, then this is what we adopt moving forward in the future to continue to be God's people without being nano Borgs or running around here like Robocops or something like that.
Of the dental anesthetic. You can now see that the nanotech is totally destroyed by the nicotine mixture. Dr. Brian Ardis stated that nicotine was the very thing that could destroy nanotechnology. Rafa has confirmed exactly that. Please share this video everywhere. We are now looking at how we can deliver nicotine in the correct dosage in a liposomal.
All right, so they're currently doing some more studies on so it's going to be a beautiful future. I'm telling you, I always seen this split reality for you and for me here. And we go through the toughest situations, right? We go through these times where we're being told how our future is going to be projected to us. We go through these times where we see the attack, but at the same time, while we see the attack, no matter what you're going through in this current moment right now, no matter who's been attacking you in your life, no matter if you're a target individual, you've been feeling this bad energy and stuff like that around you, and you've been around toxic people, and maybe family is disconnected from you, but family is right here. We tune in right now. We tune in because we're a soul family. We're a family that's for generations. We were trying to break certain cycles. We were trying to see certain things that our family members didn't see. And that's why for the entire period of most of your lives, you were outcasted and you didn't follow the crowd. Because I know I didn't. How many of you did follow the crowd? That's what I want to know. But I know for a fact, I never followed the crowd. And I will not follow the crowd right now as we go into this DNA structured world, because that's where they're going to try to normalize us and to believe that, oh, yeah, in order to be a part of this bigger community, you need to merge in with the group thought. And I'm not merging in with the group thought. I'm saying that there's an opposite path of beauty and reality for us all here. We just got to be willing to take the path. It's a narrow path, obviously. You see, the wide path is when everybody goes and they start to literally just take in and believe that we have no choice. You have nothing, there's nothing you can do. And it's a lot of those people that come here too. They're like, oh, there's nothing you can do. Again, why were you even put here if you have nothing to do? That's the question you need to ask. You didn't come here to just exist. You came here for a mission. You came here for a purpose. But I guess if you believe you're in the matrix and you don't want to do anything, and there's nothing you can do, then you just play out as a character who doesn't do anything. You don't use the divine power God gave to you. And I think that's the biggest issue we have. We're afraid to use that power. We're afraid to move forward. And those of us who are not, we're just not connected enough. And that's why this becomes a critical point in our period where our observation has to change. The pathway we take has to change. The difference we can make has to change. And even if it's just that one little bit and piece of people you can change or you can help, you can do something with, that's what matters. There's a deeper meaning behind everything we're going through. These fallen beings, they want to take over the bodies and minds, because eventually after all the AI and stuff that's happening, the AI wants a body. So again, like if you had a demonic spirit that can enter a body, instead, it could enter a machine, and if it enter a machine, like I've been saying for years, it can then try to live a little bit longer, which is something I believe to be the process that's taking place. So no matter what they're doing, though, no matter what the circumstance, we got to hold strong. We got to remember how deep this is. We got to remember all the things we've been through to get to where we are right now, because that's the only thing that's going to bring you out of this as you get your soul in the right place with God. As we move through these in the next couple months, and I already talked about how deep this is going to become because of the sacrifice agenda they have moving into these couple months. This is going to be our most testing times, but through it all, you have the ability to make the change every single day. You have the ability to choose every single day what you accept and what you don't accept, and declare your soul to be free from this dark empires. So the mission is much deeper than we know. Like, we're here right now. You don't know your time. You don't know how long it's going to be. You don't know what tomorrow holds. But what today holds is what's important. And what you can do right now to change certain interactions with people around you, been treating people a certain type of way, that's not really bringing you up to the level you need to be. Go take a time to think about it. Get out of nature. Start thinking about what you're doing. Start talking to people in a better way. Start looking at yourself from third perspective. Because if you can't see yourself, you can't see anybody else. You can't love yourself. You can't love other people. And if we loved ourselves more in this generation, we will have a better bond. So we're always going to be having people that's going to try to harm our good intentions, though. So it's always important to not be a pushover in society, not to let people do things that you don't want to be done, because this pushoverness is why what happened in 2020 happened. Because the majority of society are pushovers. Even if they know information, even if they know the right way, they still choose to do what the other majority of people do, because that's that pushover spirit. That's that, I'll go along to get along spirit. And honestly, I'm not judging you, but I'm saying, like, if we're looking to shift this thing here, we gotta let that go. We gotta let the spirit of, I don't know, like, I don't know if I should stand out. Like, I mean, if you look at the stories of Jesus, did you see him ever back down? No, he didn't. He actually stood up, went straight head on with the enemy. So that's what I'm saying here. The embodied spiritual power is a building factor of your everyday, and the mental power. Can't let them mentally beat you. You step into the arena that is the world, full of souls, and then we're set to do certain missions. But imagine how, if we all neglect our mission, imagine how many less people we could have helped, how many less interactions we have because we chose to just stay in our comfort zone. So it is a try time. It is a crazy time, but I ain't taking no mark of the beast. I ain't taking no, I ain't doing none of that. I would die with my soul intact. Dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery any day. No government or man or authority can make me bow down to their tyranny with nothing they do, because they can't harm my spirit. They can only harm the flesh. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll have a lot more coming. We put videos on the left-hand side. And I like to hear all your comments about everything below, your experience, your journey. And I appreciate it.